Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. You are always most welcome. Today, something new. It's the Ryefield Model Leopard 2 A6 main battle tank. Now, some of you who are not familiar with the channel will be thinking, oh great. Others may be saying, what? Another Leopard? How many of these Leopards have you done? Well, there's been quite a lot of Leopards have come out, Leopard 2s, in the last year or two. And we had Meng, we had Border, I reviewed them both. And now we've got the Ryefield version. So, I think this is worth a good look. Now, even I have had to, because to make this meaningful, I've had to go back and look at my old reviews. And I think it was generally felt that the Meng was really good. Meng was the early version of the A2, A3 I think it was. A4. And then, which has got the very square sort of turret with the armour very square on. And then you've got the A6, A7 where they've got this more pointed, chisel looking turret. And they've all been really good kits, both the previous two we did. This one I suspect is going to be maybe as good if not better. But there's something that caught my eye on this that I thought was very, very strange. Let me just zoom you back in. Have a look at the artwork on the front of this kit. Obviously it's 1/35th and it's there 5065, but look at the tank commander here. Does he remind you of anybody? Because he does with me. I looked at it and I thought, I know him, I know this person. Who is it? It looks to me like in younger days, our present new King of England, Charles III. Now I looked at it and I thought, it looks like it. And members of my family said, yes it is, it's Prince Charles when he was younger, you know, because he did do some, he went doing an ATC course I think, where he was flying a chipmunk and he went looking at the army, but it really looks like him, doesn't it? It's the sort of cheeks and the facial features and the nose, uncannily like him. Anyway, let's get into the review. So, as I say, it's kit number 5065, 1/35th scale. It has got this thing that I don't really normally like very much on the side, which is where they do sort of CAD renders. In fairness to Ryefield though, I mean Ryefield I think are one of the preeminent kit manufacturers of armour kits now. Probably my favourite if I'm honest, so I'm expecting it to be good. And they have, even that they've done a little bit better than other people. If you look at those images in a bit more detail. It's almost like they've superimposed CAD onto the kit itself almost, or it may just be two different levels of CAD they've used, but it is very well done, showing a lot of these additional bits of armour and skirting, and it's got folding skirt basically, like a flap that protects the tracks, and you've got these artificial gunfire discharger system that we've talked about in the past as well. And like additional armour, folding armour that goes over the top. But they've done it quite well in the way that they've actually, you know, it looks very sharp and very clear, it looks kind of real, even though I don't think it is. On the other side, and this is obviously what's, again they're highlighting these additional parts that are in this kit, I think over their previous version. Because they've called it in this rather strange sort of turquoisey teal colour. And then they show the kit, obviously the tank itself in German, the Bundeswehr type German army colours. So let's have a look, see what we have got, and we will crack into this. Now I don't want to take too long because I know sometimes when you look at these they can take forever, so I'm not going to give you a huge history about Leopard 2. We know about that from all my previous videos, so if you want to know about the Leopard 2, please go back and have a look at that, and in the meanwhile we will have a proper dig into this. So we've got a box and it's got, kind of unusual to my eye, it's got like sort of a sand coloured, like dark German yellow type, almost World War II colour for a tank kit, which seems a bit odd. I thought it was going to be dark green, but anyway, let's have a look at what we got. There's a lot of sprues. I haven't seen this before, I've never opened the box, and I haven't had time due to one thing or another, so this is all new to me. So we'll pop that over there, out of harm's way. On the carpet, there we go. Right, where to begin? So I think we'll go with the instructions and starters. Let's have a look what we've got here. Now then. So, Ryefield don't seem to go in for, no they haven't gone in for any history at all, which kind of disappoints me. They're not alone in doing this, of course. We get this with a lot of these Chinese kits. Border are the same, Great Wall Hobby are the same, who else? Meng are the same, although that's a little bit unfair because I think Meng is the one that tend to put some, no they do put a little bit of data on, don't they usually? Ryefield let us down a little bit here. They're assuming you're an expert on this tank already, and as I say, we have talked about it in the past in detail. So I'm not going to do any preamble, we're just going to zoom you in and get cracking. Let's have a look at this. So we've got the basically the sprue tree, all the sprue map, I should say, of the individual sprue trees is shown. Going through them, that looks very nice, very conventional. And then we start. So it's not a bathtub hull style. They're going to have you build up the sides and the base. Very similar to the border kit, I notice, unlike the Meng, that again they've shown this additional armour plating that it has at the back of the Leopard 2s. That's all moulded in already, it's not an additional piece you put on. So you're bringing in the rear, and there's some grill work here that's going to be put in, and then the sides, and then you've got your torsion bars going in. It does at least tell you that they're torsion bars. You see, this is why I complain. I know I go on and on about this, and I continuously complain about this. Another rant alert coming up. But you know, they've put workable torsion bars, and then there's no other writing at all apart from make 2. But there's no other descriptions about anything else at all. Is there anything on the other pages? It's as though, yeah. So a couple of pages later, we've got track links. You know, English just pops up randomly without warning, and very, very infrequently as you go through it. Anyway, we'll come back to that. But it just annoys me that they just can't be bothered to put a little bit of English and just employ somebody or just get some interpreter to simply do it for them. What would it really cost a company like this to do it once and then just print it? It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but this is not good enough. It frustrates me. Tamiya do it so well, and they are over in Japan and the Philippines. I can't see if they can do it while the Chinese can't do it. So come on, they really got to pull the socks up. I think that modelers generally have got to be sort of agree with me, not for the sake of it, but because I think we need to put pressure on them to say we want better instructions, more clarity, more detail. Anyway, moving on. So you've got your sort of your hubs here for your drive system for the engine. Various, what have we got there? Oh yeah, that's like the transmission exit coming out to go to the drive wheels and the drive sprockets. Then we've got your road wheels here coming in, and also you've got they've been putting these little fans on the back, so I should have pointed that out. A couple of fans going on there. Then we're bringing the track in very, very soon. Oh, it's working tracks, isn't it? Am I right? I think I'm right. Workable link tracks. Now Ryefield are very big on this, and in fairness to them, as I understand it, because I haven't built one yet, but they do work very well, and they do run and operate with good. They're well precision moulded, so they do work very efficiently. But there's a huge amount of work to be done. Look at this. Look at this here. You've got some link work to be done here. You've got a little jig, and you've got to put your links into this jig and build them up with like interlocking pins. That actually, I mean, it's actually a relatively simple system. I think that's less time consuming than you get from the likes of Meng, where they have sliding pins that go in the end, which take forever to sort out. This system, I think, could be quite quick as long as you've done the clean-up on all the parts. It should go in fairly efficiently. And then you've got your drive sprocket there. He says there, I should say. And then we start to build up the top of the hull, and we've got a load of spare track, fittings and fixtures, tow hooks, etc. that are coming in here. Maybe zoomed a little bit too much. There we go. Then you've got lots and lots more, including lights going on. You've got some grills. You've got barrel cleaning rods here. Barrel cleaning rods, I think that is set of. And then you've got some extra links and things. You've got your vent fans, cooling fans that are going on the grills on the top of the engine deck. And then we've got some hatches coming in here. And then you're fitting all these into the main top of the actual top deck of the tank's hull. Some armour plated or like access hatches at the side there. Then we've got some various tools which look quite good because they've got, is that photo actually? I think it is. Because it looks like we've got spades and we've got crowbars, all this kind of thing coming in here. They look detailed, in fairness, don't they? They look detailed. I mean, Ryefield are good at that. The plastic is usually amazing. And those are going on the back, and you've got another hatch going in, and then that pretty much, I think, finishes the top of the hull, ready to go down and meet the rest that you've already built, of course, having put all your tracks around. And then we've got all these stowage bins, etc., all the additional stowage that the Leopard has. There you go. Stowage bins going in, and then you've got these protective skirts which protect the track shields for the track sides at the front, which seem to be, do they concertina? Or do they, I think they kind of concertina, don't they? That's quite interesting. It looks like there might be two versions. I think the concertina up and then they fold back, and you see there it says maintenance status. And they've actually come up with some English words for a change, which is, again, so inconsistent, isn't it? So, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to the way they're putting the words in. You can't figure out why they're there. It seems very odd. Anyway, then you've got your main protector skirts coming down the side. And there you've got various little brackets to mount it with. And then we've got the rear deck here. And we've got the tow cables coming on. Mudguards as well, which looks like it might be photo etch. Looks like it is. And then we're going to start building up the turret. And here we've got the inside the cupola with all the periscopes. We've also got what looks like a rangefinder, like a periscope, rotating periscope. I think it's a rangefinder system, isn't it? Complete with windscreen wiper. Well, that's very impressive, actually. There's quite a few bits of photo etch here as well. And then we've got the actual top of the turret going on. You've got the cupola coming down with the hatches and grab handles, tow handles. That's for, I say tow handles, they're actually handles that the hoist handles, they should be called, because they hoist, it's when they're hoisting off the turret in maintenance, I think, with cables. That all goes together there, and then you start to build your Rheinmetall gun. I think, did we say it was a 130mm gun? I think it is. It's the usual Leopard, very smooth bore Rheinmetall cannon, and it's very, very high velocity. Building that up, doing the internals of the breech here. And then we've got the basically the pivot, the ring, the pinion ring that goes round that actually mounts to between the turret and the hull, the turret ring, as it were. And then we're bringing in our cannon, goes in, and you bring the actual top of the, interestingly, you bring the top of the turret down upon it, which is quite interesting. So then you've got some hatches and more parts of the breech, I think that is, and then we've got all sorts of little periscopes and armour plated. It's amazing the number of sort of armour plated periscopes that appear on this tank. It's actually rangefinder systems, periscopes, etc. There's quite a few of them, you know. And you've got your only used for exercise status. That's your artificial gunfire. I'm going to say eliminated, but it's the gunfire effect machine, which bangs. It's like a firecracker, and it bangs and flashes, so it looks like it's firing from a distance for exercises. And then we're bringing in our additional, this is where it differs, of course, from the earlier versions, with this additional chisel-shaped armour that goes on the front to deflect incoming shots. And we've got radio aerials, smoke discharges down the side here. We've got a tow cable, winch system. It's got everything, hasn't it? This tank, it really has. Stowage boxes at the back, complete with lifting flap lid. Just looks very real. Really got nice little handles on it. Looks incredibly well done. I bet the plastic's going to be fantastic. Pardon the pun. And then we've got the various stowage bins, etc. for the shell cases going on the back. A number of the different covers and stowage bins from the side and the rear. And then the Ryemetal gun itself, the cannon and flash eliminator. That goes on, plus your, looks like an MG34 or MG42, or whatever they call it now. They call it something else, don't they? But it's basically a development of the World War II gun. Very effective, high rate of fire machine gun, heavy machine gun. And then we've got a 3D printed part, actually, which is 3D printed part. Is that the muzzle? Looks like that might be the muzzle, yeah. Very interesting. 3D printing as well in here, that's impressive. So that's something new that I haven't seen before. And then you've just finally got your, it's like a radio antenna and a light. And then you just bring the two together here, put your finished turret on, complete with gun, onto the main body, and then you go into your painting. Here we go. So you've got the German, the Bundeswehr, Panzer Halle Brigade, Panzer Division, 93rd Armoured Demonstration Battalion, and then the 3rd Company of the 104th Armoured Battalion. Same sort of German, typical West German. It's very dark green and it's like an olive drab and dark green and brown. And then it just shows you how, in detail, how things like the smoke discharges are positioned. And there's a couple of stencils to go on there as well, very minor stencils. So the smoke discharges are actually numbered with stencils. Very, very nice. Okay. Right, well, it looks relatively straightforward, a bit fiddly in places, just a bit lacking in any detail. And you know, it's a good job I've been through Leopards before and I can tell you what these parts are, because if you hadn't, and if you're a newcomer to Army, you're going to be thinking, don't know what it is. They could do more than that. It's not a very good effort. They're all the same. It's just the same as Border. Anyway, let's get cracking at the parts and let's have a look at, starting with 3D printing. Now here's something I've not come across before, so it's a bit of a breakthrough moment for me. Make sure I don't lose these parts. We've got two parts here that are 3D printed. Now then, let's have a look. Look at this. So I presume that they're 3D resin printed, and they are very, very finely detailed. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to show this to the camera properly. Can we see the detail here? Look at that. So this is the muzzle of the gun. Try to see, because it's not rifled, because it isn't a rifled barrel, but it's a very, very, very detailed part, in a way that probably only 3D printing can actually achieve. It's not hollow though. Not hollow. It is, but not all the way, I mean. It's hollow, can you see that? It's not hollow all the way through, so that's the end of the gun muzzle. And then there's this other piece which I don't instantly recognise. I think it's like a hatch, or I don't know if it's a microwave radio transmitter or something, but some fine detail here. Yeah. Again, probably giving, beyond slide moulding, it's probably something that only 3D printing can really achieve. But those are very nice pieces. They're very finely detailed, that's for sure. We'll pop those in that little bag, put them back. Then we've got, which I won't bother taking out, we've got tow cable. Seems like a bit of cotton really, and what looks like a pin. I think it's an aerial, in fact. Can you see that? Aerial here. There. Very nice. Then we've got some photo etch. And we've got some decals. Decals, yeah, well, there aren't very many of them. It says, can you focus? There we go. Not very many of them. I'm taking them out. There's not much point really. Really, it's just number plates, smoke discharger numbers, and not much else really, a couple of German crosses and that's it. On the other side we've got our grills and grates with our photo etch. Now this photo etch is actually quite nice. They do it quite thin as well. It's not like Tamiya. It's you've got grills there for the engine deck, for the cooling grills, and then you've got various brackets and sort of corner pieces and grab handles and things, and the main two engine grills there. Very nice indeed. Okay, no problem. So some clear parts, which again I won't do because they're not significant on the tank. They're really just all your periscope lenses. And again, they've done it nicely. And I mentioned about these rangefinder, the rangefinder, armour-plated rangefinder little turret periscope system, and there you can see that's the lens for that, the one that had the little windscreen wiper to go on it. They're beautiful clear parts, very, very clear looking, very bright and shiny. Excellent. Then we get a bag of polycaps. A couple of, I thought they were the mud guards here. They're actually rubberised ones, which is probably quite real. And I think that's clever. I thought it was photo etch, but it's not. That's like a rubberised mud guard for the rear. That's quite nice. Yeah, I like that. Other than that, it's just polycaps. Right, let's have a look at the proper plastic and see what we have. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the camera to focus rather than anything else. I'm not trying to get you to look at my wrist. Right, here we go. So, let's start with the turret. Oh, and that's nice. They put it in a padded bubble wrap bag, and then it's in a nice bag inside, which we will open. Ryefield are very good. They always have resealable bags. I'm not going to spoil it, and I should just say, which I should have said at the beginning, that this kit is not in fact my own kit, so again, this is why I use the gloves. Yeah, I don't want to be having my sticky fingers and beer covered fingers or whatever I've been drinking all over it, that's for sure. We need to look at that. This is the turret. So they've done this in a great big chunky single piece with a lot of detail moulded into this. Look at this. Yeah. That is very, very nice. Great detail, lots of hinges built into it. You've got the breech area here for the cannon. On the top you've got that wonderful, like a high grip surface for people to walk around with their boots on to get maximum grip. And that's really fun. You've got all the supports and brackets here for the aerials and things. Remarkably detailed. See that? That's really, really nice. Yeah, little hatches and all sorts. That's beautiful. It really is. Yeah, that's impressive for a kick-off, I have to say. Very nice. Back in its other bag. In a bag out of bag, I think. Yeah, that was very, very nice. Okay, then we've got all our main chassis parts for the hull. Oh yes, this is gorgeous. Typical Ryefield, you know. Total attention to detail. Super sharp parts. Look at that. Really, really good. All the rivet holes and bolt holes, bolts. Underneath we've got this the hull, beautifully finished, complete with its rear armour, extra armour plating. Gorgeous. It's all there, isn't it? Very, very nice. So, next one we've got our sprue with our Ryefield cannon on it, which is going to be quite special. Complete with its flash eliminator. Whoa. Oops. There we go. So this is typical Ryefield. They moulded it in one single piece. Now look at this. That is very nicely done, complete with all the bolts and the recesses, flanges along the gun barrel. That's really, really nice. Here's your flash eliminator here. This is the sort of towards the breech end. So you've got the whole flash eliminator, the breech end, and then your barrel. Beautiful. And then you've got all these wonderful little hatches, complete with hinges, beautifully replicated, with all the door handles, sorry, the hatch handles I should say, and the hatches themselves here. Gorgeously mouldings, absolutely exquisite. I do feel that Ryefield, I mean Border are very good as well in fairness, but Ryefield I think are just at the top now. I think they're above Tamiya and Armour. But, I'm only talking about the plastic. Tamiya are superior in terms of their presentation. Sorry, a little bit of trouble with the zoom again. I think that Tamiya's presentation is certainly infinitely better, and of course they often include figures as well, and the figures that Tamiya are producing are really good. They're right up there with the best. At 1/35th scale anyway. I mean ICM do some lovely figures, but Tamiya's figures, included in the kit, things like, you know, I got the M10, the Achilles, and that's got some beautiful British figures in it, and the American Sheridan, fantastic Vietnam figures, absolutely exquisite. So, but I think that Ryefield, in terms of moulding the kit, are probably even better. But they don't include any figures, and they don't include any English, and there's no clear explanation of anything, and there's no history or presentation at all. So, overall, I don't think Ryefield can possibly eclipse Tamiya, however good their plastic is overall, because it's only a fraction better. But I'm not knocking them. It's a, you know, it looks like a beautiful kit, to be fair. Look at this. Look at the detail we have there. This is where they're ace in the hole. It's the moulding sharpness. Look at this machine gun. That is exquisite. So there's a bit of slide moulding that's gone on here. It even, just to prove my point about slide moulding, can we get this in focus? Let's try. Look at the gun barrel of the machine gun. When you see this, when you see the sprue and you see that it has this sort of raised bracket at the end, that's a sign that they've done that raised piece so they can get the slide mould in. And if we can get in as close as I can you see here, just the machine gun, can you see that its muzzle is hollow? I don't know if that's coming out on the camera. That is the slide moulding effect. That's what it's all about. That's what it's there for. Can we get this? I think you can see it now, can't you? There. You can see the hollow muzzle of the machine gun. So that's why they've done it. Now all that is done, all this effort has gone just to produce that muzzle, that hollow end to the gun muzzle. What a beautiful piece of work that is. So they've gone to quite a lot of effort, haven't they, to do that, in fairness. Anyway, there's a lot of parts here, a lot of hatches, we've got brackets, we've got the framework here for the support for the baskets that take the shells, all sorts of hinges and hatch covers. Gorgeous, very nice sprue that, to be honest. That open muzzle though, that's really sort of taken my breath away a little bit. That is genuinely impressive. I've gone to that much trouble just for that one piece. You can tell that's what it's all about. It's trying to create an open muzzle that looks realistic at 1/35th, which is admirable and to be commended. Thank you very much, Ryefield, for doing that. Now then. Oops. Oops. There we go. This is the top of the hull. And another gorgeous, gorgeous piece of moulding. Wow. Let's look at this. It's exceptional, isn't it? Fantastic detail. All the bolts, all the panels. These areas here are these deliberate high grip areas for the soldiers to get their feet to get purchase on what is otherwise a smooth finish. So you have these high footfall areas where, again here, where they can jump on the tank, and it's almost like a stairway in effect. So they jump on that and then they jump on the turret, and it's all there, and all these bolts and flanges, beautifully done. Absolutely amazing. Very nice indeed, that. More fantastic plastic from Ryefield, really. Now then. Now then, here we've got the rest of the top of the hull, which is where the turret mounts here, and you've got your turret ring here with this. You can see the actual gearing of the turret ring if you look closely. See that? The gears here. Very, very nice. I'm not sure if that's coming out on the camera or not. Yes, I think it is now. There we go. Very nice. And then you get your armour sections with all of this this armour, this like a chisel-shaped armour that protects the turret. And again, flawless moulding. You know, every bolt is accurate, it's consistent, absolutely crisp, supremely crisp moulding. And then put that back in there. The bag seems bigger than it needs to be, strangely. Then we have this. This is the rear deck area and the grills. There we are. Look at that. Again, beautifully crisp moulding. You've got your side skirts here, protecting the tracks, of course. All the bolts, heads are in, faithfully reproduced. Accurate details. Top of the turret here, where you've got again these walk areas. You can see these like a high grip rubberized walk area. Engine deck, ventilation fans to cool with cooling fans. Fans themselves. Yeah, I'm not sure they couldn't have done that differently. I think it's a tricky one to mould, isn't it, fans? And they're underneath the grill anyway, so you wouldn't see them that much. I suppose it doesn't matter. And then again, we've got this is the front end. Sorry. The front end of this side skirt protection system that sort of folds up for maintenance, protects from incoming shells and RPG. Very, very nice. Which just leaves to the side. Just leaves a couple more bags. I've got some more slide moulding, just like we saw with those gun barrels on the machine gun. We've got it here again, look. Wow. And whenever you see that sort of a, almost like an archway, it's a sure sign that they've done that to slide mould something. What are they? I'm not quite sure what the component is. It looks like it might be some sort of a flange. But you see that they're hollow, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Very nicely done. And there are lots of grills and grates and things here, and you've got your barrel cleaning rods there. You've got your rear grill here. Lots of small parts, some beautiful tools. Look at these. Those are nice, aren't they? Fantastic. It's a very, very nice kit, I've got to say. Absolutely gorgeous. And then one more of the regular sprues. Trying to see how we're getting. Oh yes, there we are. This bag's so clear it's hard to see where it starts and where it ends, to be honest. There we are. Okay, so it's actually just one sprue that's duplicated, and this has got all of your lovely idler and drive sprockets on. Look at that. Very, very nice. Fantastic details. Got all your road wheels, all the bolts on them, faithfully reproduced. Idler wheels there. And we've got all manner of things down here. We've got tow hooks here, towing eyes I should say, various stowage boxes. We've got the all the torsion bars here for the actual road wheels and suspension drive system. Spade and the little towing eyes and things. It's incredible detail, isn't it? Fine, beautiful parts. So nicely moulded, you know. It's a gorgeous piece of 21st century moulding, no question about it. Absolutely sublime, really. There's your hatches. And there you have it. So, that is a really, really detailed sprue. Just like so. Finally, last but not least, we have the dreaded Ryefield tracks. Oh dear. Well, we're going to have a quick look at these. Strange that they're in such a dark colour when the rest of the kit's so light. Still think it's very odd actually that they've produced the kit in that sort of a desert yellow style. For a modern main battle tank, it seems awfully odd to me to be in that colour, but anyway. So this is this here is your jig that you're going to produce. You're going to place all your tracks in, and then you've got the pads, the road pads that actually go on the road, rubberized pads, and then you've got the actual links themselves that run between the main sort of back of the back of the pad, the actual track links themselves. Quite complicated, but I think in practice it's actually a lot simpler than it looks, this one. I think that Ryefield have got this off to a fine art, really, and I think that their system of doing these is a lot quicker. I think once you've done the first one in the jig, I think it'll be fairly straightforward to just keep going. Just a bit repetitive and laborious, obviously. So there we have it. Now, what do we make of it? So, there we go. So it's the Ryefield Leopard 2 86. I think it's, what I'm going to say is very predictable now. The plastic is 10 out of 10. It's absolutely sublime. You know, it's got no ejector pins where there shouldn't be, or anything like that. It's got no flash. It's got no faults at all. The plastic in those bags is superb. absolutely gorgeous. It's just let down, as they all are, these kits, by their unwillingness to make any real effort with the instructions. They just want to produce a sort of basic instruction booklet that doesn't have any English in it, and it frustrates me, because if they just made a bit of effort and even gave us some history, there is nothing about this tank. They tell you nothing. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you want to go and spend, I don't know, what's that, £60, something like that? Probably maybe more now, but Prince Charles looks like, as he was, the King, I should say, as he is now. He looks very pleased with himself driving that tank, because it looks like him, doesn't it? So I think you know what I'm going to say next. I'm going to give it, I want to give it 10 out of 10, but you just can't, because the instructions are woeful, really. I mean, they're fine, you can follow them, they're clear, but it's just not giving you any experience beyond building a model. It's not giving you any history or any interest beyond just a nice plastic model. So it's 9 out of 10 from me, I think. I think they have to lose a point because the instructions are no history and not enough detail. So must try harder, you know. Whoever's doing the moulding for them, 10 out of 10. You know, the plastic's 10 out of 10. Just let down by something that's easily fixed, really. So there we go, predictable outcome, I'm afraid. Now, here's the question that you might want to ask yourself if you're a Leopard 2 fan. Do I buy the Meng, or do I buy the Border, or do I buy the Ryefield? That is very, very tricky. That is very genuinely difficult. And I'm not sure what I would recommend, really, but I would probably go with the Ryefield. I just think they're just so much cleaner, and they're very, very nice to look at. And they're all, of the choice, they've all got dodgy instructions, so I might probably go with this one, to be honest. I think that would be my choice, if I'm honest. So, that's where I'm at. Hope you found it interesting. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope to see you again in the not too distant future. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, 10 out of 10, by smashing that like button, and subscribe if you haven't done already. And if you have done, please keep your eyes out for the next thrilling instalment in the not too distant future. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of Christmas and New Year. Thanks very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.